I see my YouTube doing something. Is that us? Are we going live? Oh, it is us.
Yeah.
We're live.
We're live.
Oh, we're alive.
We've
and
been
we're
live.
Oh my God. Welcome back, everybody. It's a full strength show. First time in a few weeks. How's everybody doing? Vince, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm flipping back and forth between the Sharks and Monday Night Football, so we can have live updates as we see them. Barclay Goodrow literally just got into a fight, so that's cool. And you know,
second fight of the night.
That's right, the second fight of the night for the team. So we'll just we'll keep tabs on that. And then as far as Monday Night Football goes, we're gonna just keep an eye on the score as well. There's some fantasy football implications for some people, not me, because nothing anybody can do can really help me because I was a bad week. Your boy took hella L's, so
Bad week for you and a bad season for me. So
yeah, that's okay.
I'm just gonna say, went to the Barracuda game yesterday. They got the dub. Mm-hmm. Sharks got the dub yesterday thanks to the assist of Timo Meyer. If that sounds familiar, he does not play for the Sharks anymore, but he helped assist a goal yesterday for the Sharks. So love that. My Eagles got a win. And in 3 different fantasy leagues, I got a wins in all those as well. So my week is starting off just fine and dandy for me.
Coming up, Tyler, huh?
You know what? Tim, cut that bastard. I can't.
Nope. Yeah. I heard none of that.
I'm on it.
Tim, how you doing, buddy?
Cut that out.
All right. So full strength. Vince, why don't we start it off and let's get some scores this week.
Right on. So Thursday night was the Ravens surviving over the Bengals 35-34. They had to get a 2-point conversion at one point as well to make up for a missed PAT. So there's that. Sunday, you had the Panthers in Germany beating the Giants 20-17 in overtime. That feels like a hate crime that we sent that game over there to them. Minnesota on 4 field goals beats Jacksonville 12-7. So Mac Jones played that game. It sounds like Trevor Lawrence might be done for the year as well. We're still kind of waiting to see how that goes. Kansas City, they can't keep doing this. They win 16-14 after over Denver. After Denver, was it the field goal was blocked? Right, it was a blocked field goal.
Yep.
He didn't miss it. He just got it blocked, and it was like a 30-something yard. Getting away with this.
No goal talks in this podcast.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hey guys.
All right, so the Bills.
Everybody dropped out for a second there. So run it back. Run it back.
We're running it back from where?
Like a couple scores.
Okay, so
you guys just dropped out. You're just like nothing.
Right, yeah, I just saw that on the screen. So okay, so Vikings over the Jaguars 12-7, Chiefs over the Broncos 16-14. These fuckers can't keep doing it. I don't know if that got across or not before we dropped out, but seriously, that Jesse Pinkman meme, he can't keep getting away with this. That's where I'm at now with the Chiefs. Same with pretty much everybody who isn't a Kansas City Chiefs fan. The Bills beat the Colts 30-20. The Steelers get the job done over the Commanders 28-27. The Saints stopped their 7-game skid. They beat Atlanta 20-17. My 49ers get the win 23-20. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The Patriots beat the Bears 19-3. Oh, not a good look for Caleb Williams there. The Chargers get it done over the Titans 27-17. The Eagles get the dub over the Cowboys 34-6. The Cardinals beat the Jets 31-6. The Jets keep jetting, man. Sunday Night Football had the Lions over the Texans 26-23. And Monday Night Football is happening right now. Dolphins are playing the Rams, and they're up 7-0 right now with 9 minutes to go in the first. So that game is early stages.
The game that I was glued to was the Commanders
Steelers.
And Steelers, I was really rooting for the Commanders, just because Jaden Daniels, man, that dude's legit. Don't like Pittsburgh, and I like their quarterback. So I was actually hoping the Commanders would get that.
Well, I'm the opposite of that, but that's a divisional thing for me. I needed the Commanders to lose. I thought it was going to happen with the Bears, and then they screwed that up. Yeah, I'll take the win. Although I will say, how the Commanders lost, it's got to be the most frustrating thing in the world if I was a fan. To have your rookie lineman be called offsides
Yeah,
on a clear and obvious situation where Russ Wilson was trying to get you offsides.
Yep.
That's a tough way to lose, man. But I'll take it.
Yeah.
It gives me a sole first place of the division. And,
I hear the announcer go, and they played into the Steelers' hands. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Thursday, man. The Eagles are going to be playing the Commanders for sole possession of first place entirely. So it should be a good Thursday night here coming up. But yeah.
Right
What you got,
on.
Vince?
Okay, so let's just talk about this Niners game. The Jake Moody, it's his first game back after being away for that leg injury, and he missed 3 field goals. He hit 2 of them, including the last second one from 44 yards out, but he had just missed a 44-yarder 2 minutes earlier in the game. So confidence was a little bit shaky there. In fact,
Got
Debo
choked out.
Debo Samuel was like really getting into it with him, and Tabor Pepper had to kind of get in there and settle things down, the long snapper. So
Vince,
yeah.
Debo was just doing his Latrell Sprewell.
Dude, Debo was just being a bully. That's why I'm wearing this shirt. Yeah, so
that's one of those things. The kicker's got one job: make the kicks, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, and I mean there was other opportunities as well, to really put the game out of reach, but they keep kicking field goals instead of getting touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey looked pretty good, like especially receiving the ball, like so in his first game back. So I'm just as long as he stays healthy, he's going to keep getting better as the season goes on, and he'll have only half a season of wear and tear as opposed to everybody else. So if they win ugly this week, was Nick Bosa missing tackles or whatever? I think he might have been sad because he got fined.
Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa. Let me rephrase this. The Buccaneers quarterback literally held off MAGA with one arm.
Yeah, that's right. He was like, Bosa was holding on to his arm, and Baker just kind of kept running away and able to get away from him. I don't know what the hell that play was specifically. I saw that. I was
there was a lot of jokes on the internet, and one of them
I was aghast. Yeah,
he doesn't play as hard against white quarterbacks, I guess.
Yeah,
off the top of my head, it seems like Bosa, just for being supposed to be a premier pass rusher, he disappears a lot, and he disappeared a little bit in that Super Bowl. I'm kind of worried about it because he's supposed to be, I mean, look at the amount of money the 49ers gave him, the holdout, and it took him forever to play into shape when everybody was saying, this guy's he's a Ferrari, he's in shape. So I'm kind of worried about it because it's 2 years consecutive that he's just very unimpressive or has too many games where he just goes silent. And I'm worried about that for the 49ers going into the playoffs because you need edge rushers to get after the quarterback. And then when he gets not taking them down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there was to circle back to the kicker part. Jake Moody's said somebody in the media asked him about the kerfuffle with Debo, and he said no, he doesn't owe me an apology. That was just heat of the moment kind of thing. So it sounds like they're good. So at least that part, I'm not too worried about that. I think Jake Moody knows he's a kicker.
Yeah,
on this team, like you said, kickers have one job. And
do you think he'll be the kicker for the 49ers next year?
No,
I don't know.
He'll compete.
He might be. I think he absolutely could be. I mean, we'll see. Maybe this was just a bad game, and it was his first game back from that injury.
Vince, it's a
And
lot of misses in his career.
it is,
A
yeah,
lot.
no. This year, this is his second year. Last
Is
year
Robbie
he had
Gould
about
out
5
there?
misses.
But that's what I'm saying. It's his only
Yeah.
second
So,
year, and he misses quite a lot.
let me tell you, this year he only missed one field goal before this. So like he's getting better. He got all the misses this year so far in one game. So I think we got to see how he bounces back from this first before I'm ready to call it. I'm a little cautious on trying to take a man's job away from him. I'm a little reticent to do that after
Take it
off
because
of
I'm
one
ready to
bad
kick.
game.
I'm ready to go, coach. Put me
Yeah.
in.
So, can you hit a 50-yarder?
I can, with my eyes closed.
Sure you can, bud. I know that I'm capable of 30 right now, and if I train up for it, I can get to about 45. But also, I'm not a.
All my argument is this: is that Moody was a second round pick.
Yeah,
And
no,
that's a lot of misses for a second round pick. The last time a kicker went that high is probably Janikowski.
Yeah. So this is
shout out the all-time points leader in Raider history.
I'm just saying because he was a second round pick, they're gonna give him every opportunity to lose the job before they take it away from him. And I think that we saw that with this team in several other opportunities, like Jimmy Garoppolo, for example. They gave Jimmy every opportunity first before deciding to move on,
Mhm.
and even then they still brought him back, one extra year, and he was sort of that bridge until he got hurt to Brock Purdy, and we kind of lucked into Brock Purdy a little bit there, looking back on it now. So that's just kind of the way this team operates. Is I think they especially the higher prized talent, like the higher price, the higher draft capital that they spend on somebody. They're gonna make sure that he's not the guy, whoever it is, before they move on. And right now, I can see them writing this off as it was just a bad game. We'll see how he responds. If he has another bad game like this, then absolutely it's time to start talking about it.
I think
Until
Debo
then,
might
we'll
put
see.
him in an arm bar.
Yeah,
and then
Debo might fuck Snap
Yeah.
if he has a game like that again, especially if it's in the playoffs. You're basically, if I'm Jake Moody, you're allowed one more miss the entire season, and that fucker better not be inside of 50. If you do miss it, it better be a long kick that a 50-yard plus that he misses going forward. So he is kind of he's in timeout right now. He has his nose in the corner. He's gonna sit there and he's gonna think about what he did. Okay, but he's not like. He's not gonna be gone yet. They have the other kicker that was replaced him, but then got injured making a tackle as well. Because they let Anders Carlson or whatever his name is
go. Yeah, they released him.
Go. So he was kicking for the Jets this past week. So
Vince, just looking ahead a little bit at the 49ers schedule. Next week you guys got the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're at the Packers,
Yep.
at the Bills.
Mm-hmm. The Bills is December. Yep.
Home against the Rams, at Dolphins, home against the Lions, and then you're at Arizona Cardinals. So Arizona's one game ahead right now. But it looks like this 49er season is going to come down to the wire. Entertaining for me because none of them are my dogs.
They're going to make the playoffs. They should win. I think they will end up winning the division. I do like my call preseason about Arizona being better than people thought, though. That's looking pretty smart. I look like a goddamn genius.
Update, just not breaking news, but update news. The Sharks were down 3-0, and now it's 3-2. So we have a game here, boys.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, I just looked up, and there it is. So that's cool. So I forgot where I was. Go Niners. There we are.
You said Arizona was your surprise.
It was Arizona was the playing a lot better than a lot of people thought, but not me. I knew that they would be a lot better than last year. So go me. All right. So with that, I think you got a week off, Sam. You didn't have anybody playing this
Yeah,
week,
no
right? So,
stress.
yeah.
I just got to be a normal, just kind of like a reporter, right? Just sit back and watch. Got to see some
Yeah.
Sharks games, some Warriors games. So it was a nice weekend for your boy.
Yeah. Yeah. No stress. Yeah. Sounds nice. So there was the trade deadline that just happened for the NFL this past Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific. Khalil Davis, the Niners got a pass rusher, Khalil Davis, for a 2026 seventh round pick. So basically pocket change. Uh, the Rams traded for Tre'Davious White and they traded Tre'Davious White, excuse me, and a 2027 seventh round pick to Baltimore for a 2026 seventh round. So you do a pick swap. So yeah, that was just a salary dump, I think.
Salary dump, and I read an article earlier last week that this trade was, they knew something was happening, and it was basically a handshake deal. He wanted new scenery. The Rams wanted to dump the salary, so it was just a good faith deal.
Okay. Green Bay traded Preston Smith to Pittsburgh for a 2025 seventh. That's going to be a running theme with all these trades. It's a lot of seventh round picks, a couple of sixths.
Even if you're renting Preston Smith for a year for amount of games, I would have given that up if I'm the Raiders. Like, that's a good player for a seventh round draft pick, and then he impacted the game. Like, his first sack for them was an impactful sack that helped them clinch this game.
Yeah, speaking of impact players going to Pittsburgh, Mike Williams got a touchdown for Pittsburgh. The Jets traded him for a fifth round pick, and that was just he never fit in with the Jets at all. And
he made sure to let Aaron Rodgers know in his little tweet today with he said thanks with a snake sign next to it to shout out Aaron Rodgers and how he talked shit about him on his team. So
yeah,
fuck Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, fuck that guy. New Orleans traded Marshawn Lattimore and a 2025 fifth round pick to Washington for a 2025 third, fourth, and sixth round picks. And the sixth round pick that they sent was originally the Saints selection, which the Commanders had previously acquired in the John Ridgeway deal. So,
welcome back.
Yeah. That's unfortunately that's the end of the Marshawn Lattimore Mike Evans rivalry. We're not going to get to see that as often anymore.
That third was the Eagles. We traded that when we traded for Jahan Dotson. So they used our third to get Marshawn Lattimore. So that's fun.
So they basically traded a sixth to get Marshawn and Dotson to get Marshawn Lattimore.
That's a great trade for.
It's that's working some magic there, man.
They have some young defensive back talent already on the roster, so it puts a lot of people in their right place. And he didn't play this week. I think he's going to make his debut next week.
Yeah.
You mean this Thursday? Thanks.
Yeah.
Thursday, yeah.
Carolina traded Jonathan Mingo and a 2025 seventh round pick to Dallas for a fourth rounder.
Wait, hold on, because you didn't let me talk about my Eagles, and since we're on this Dallas here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you already. Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So Dallas definitely got fleeced in this trade. I cannot believe that they gave up what they did to get Mingo, who there's literally this amazing play where he is catching this ball and his brain tells him that he needs to keep his feet inbound. So he dolphin kicks out his legs, but he kicks his legs out and he lands out of bounds. So he caught the ball out of bounds. What if he just would have stood up straight? He would have caught the ball. So IQ levels, sometimes not always there for Mingo.
Yeah. Focus. I think is what they'll say. The focus, the attention to details.
Yeah.
The route running, the little things.
I have 3 key points, or at least 3 things that the Dallas game that I just want to mention real quick.
Absolutely.
Our defensive ends, the rookies, I don't know how they fell in our laps. I mean, both of them are just studs that I think they're both competing against each other for defensive rookie player of the year. So I love everything that we have defensively going on right now. I was very critical about Vic Fangio's defense. It seems like everyone's bought into it. It's starting to show its worth, and it's actually kind of shades of what the 49ers were back in the day. So I am liking it right now. Second point is The Dallas Cowboys had as many turnovers as points, so that would be 6 if you're counting, which is great. I love that. And then my last point that got brought up was that obviously that stadium has some sun issues. So,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to blame Jalen Hurts for struggling in that first quarter. He probably couldn't see, let alone his receivers probably couldn't see either. So, when asked Jerry Jones about the situation with the sun, they said, "Would you put up curtains up there?" And Jerry Jones got so mad that even when we talk about the stadium, he said, "You know what? I'll just sell the stadium and build a new one." So, crybaby's gonna cry. So,
Yeah,
I loved everything about this week.
It's always about Jerry.
Mhm.
Jerry always has to make it about Jerry. That's why Jimmy Johnson ended up getting fired really in the 90s because Jerry Jones couldn't take it that somebody else was getting some shine. It's always about Jerry,
Pun intended.
and that's why the Cowboys are fraudulent, and they will remain fraudulent.
The Cowboys got the
yeah.
one after Jimmy Johnson with Barry Switzer. Was it 2 years after?
It was immediately. It was
it immediately?
Yeah.
With Barry Switzer, but I mean, Jimmy put that team together, and
Yeah.
how much more could Dallas potentially could have won? It's just mind-boggling that Jerry Jones chased away the best thing that happened to that franchise. They haven't done anything since.
Yeah.
Like, they've been competitive, but have you really been convinced that Dallas is a legit contender?
No.
I
will worry about Dallas when Dallas gives me something to worry about.
Exactly.
And even when like Dak's first year where he ended up taking over for Romo, they were like 13-3 that year or whatever. I was still like, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. And wouldn't you know it, they fucking fell on their faces again. Like, and that's
this
just going to be the story.
Did you hear this 5 interception quarterback stat to continue to win the game?
Oh, for Goff.
Was for Jared Goff was the other quarterback was Matt Ryan with the Falcons, and the other one was Tony Romo.
Oh, of course.
That sounds very Tony Romo like.
That is a very Tony Romo stat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Anything else on the Eagles game?
No, that was it. I just, fraud boys, stay fraud.
Yeah, that's right. Fraud's gonna fraud. Chicago also traded Khalil Herbert to Cincinnati. That's just a depth trade for Cincinnati. They needed somebody to back up Chase Brown now that Zach Moss is done for the year.
Yep.
Cleveland traded Zadarius Smith and a 2026 7th-round pick to Detroit for a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, Detroit needed a pass rusher, so
yeah. Got to make up for the Aiden Hutchinson loss there. And then Denver traded edge rusher Baron Browning to Arizona for a 2025 6th-round pick. So there's a lot of other littler trades, but I thought that was just kind of a helpful smattering of the higher ticket item trades, I guess, for lack of a better term. So there is your trade update. And there we go. Yeah. Anything else for football?
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, we mentioned off air in the pre-show that the Raiders have hired Norv Turner as like an offensive assistant. Yeah. What's it matter at this point? Just secure the number 1 pick and punch the ticket for Cam Ward. That's what I want.
Right. Former Raiders head coach Norv Turner.
Exactly. A lot of former head coaches on this team, and they can't figure it out, which is mind-boggling.
Yeah,
too many cooks.
I'm starting to think maybe Antonio Pierce isn't the guy. Maybe not. Or maybe he's a little bit out in front of his skis a little bit. He's a little above his head right now. I don't know.
I think there's opportunity to become like Dan Campbell, his first 2 seasons, right? Like everybody was saying, get rid of this guy. And thankfully the organization, the new general manager stuck with him. So I think there's an opportunity to grow into somebody like a Dan Campbell, who's a good motivator of guys. Antonio Pierce knows the game. He was a really good linebacker.
Oh, yeah. Right? No, I'm not questioning that. I'm just
the other thing is how many raw guys, look at the 49ers, Mike Singletary, Hall of Famer, just didn't cut it as a head coach.
Yeah.
And those guys are up and down the league. And I think that's the concern is this guy going to be, is he a career linebackers coach, defensive coordinator, or is he going to be a head coach? Because that's like being the head coach is like a CEO. Like you're running a business and you're holding all of these people, accountable. Look at Pittsburgh. Like Mike Tomlin just pulls 10 wins out of his ass every single year.
Yeah.
And that thing is business as usual. It doesn't matter who's there. They just plug in players and it's like the same damn team year after year. They just get 10, 12 wins. So that's unfortunately that's what you want, but those guys don't grow on trees. So it's probably Bill Belichick in a couple of months anyway. So
Co-owner Tom Brady's already there.
It's like
they already tried once to make it Patriots West, man.
In closing on football and NFL, was thinking about this the other day. Like, I actually have no problem with football players, former players, like owning teams, part of a team. But to me, this feels so wrong and dirty that the player that is at the center, the apex of where your franchise is at with this tuck rule, because the Raiders would have went into the Super Bowl. You don't know what's going to happen, but you would have been there. And it just totally changed the trajectory of your franchise, and to allow that player into your building as an owner. I don't give a crap if he's the greatest of all time. We don't know how he's going to impact any winning or this or that. I think the first players that should have been offered ownership are actual Raider alumni who are interested in owning a team. And I would say that for any franchise, any organization. If Tom Brady wanted to own a team, he should be offered shares into the Patriots or the Buccaneers for the team you played for. Not it just seems like what's the wolf is in the hen house type of thing. It does not feel right. And Al Davis has to be rolling in his grave. I mean, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. All right, let's switch gears to basketball and let's talk about the Warriors, who had a pretty damn good road trip. So they get the win on Monday at Washington, 125-112. Steph scored 24 points in 24 minutes, coming back from his ankle injury. And then they go into Boston. They get the 6-point win. Buddy Hield hitting the dagger 3, and then Steph had 27 points. 21 of those came in the second half. And he also chipped in with, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, Steph doing Steph things. So then they go to Cleveland. They take the L, a 136-117. They were down 40 at halftime. So that one was pretty.
Say something about that game. That game was obviously a blowout, but if you watch that game in entirety, the fight that the Warriors had all the way to the end, where they got it to 10 points at one point, I'll take that. I mean, on coming from Boston all the way to Cleveland and then doing that, I'll take that.
You end up losing by 19, but if you were able to close the gap a little bit. I think it's just the energy expelled to get it that close. Like just kind of
and that was
to finish the job.
They didn't play bad. It was Cleveland was like
they went nuclear.
50 out of 55 shots of 3-pointers. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, they went absolutely nuclear. They
would just throw the ball behind their head and it went in. I mean, was it Ty Jerome went off?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at their halftime stat, they were 50% from 3. Like that's
crazy.
You're not going to win a lot of games.
No. When the other team's doing that, you just. I
saw something. They were like 50% from 3, then 52% from the field.
Yeah,
like it was. They weren't bricking any shots. The Warriors were playing great defense and trying to alter shots. They were just making them. But then they bounced back against OKC, Vince.
Yep, that's right. 36 points from Steph, and then DeAnthony Melton had his best game as a Warrior, 19 points and 10 boards. Get the win at Oklahoma City. That's a huge statement win. That's an 11-point win there.
So playing devil's advocate, I didn't like that we were up 30 in that game and almost blew it. So
well, I mean,
the other side of the coin.
So I mean that happened last week too against in Houston. That happened as well, right? So it's just something to kind of keep note and make sure you keep focused for the entire 48.
Yeah, but this
they're
would make
currently-
sense. I mean, this is the last game of the road trip. You're probably tired. You want to go home. You want to lay in your own bed. And I could
That's
get it.
right.
They lost energy and lost focus in the end there. And it makes sense. So,
Yeah.
What
Currently
sucks for
8-2. Yeah.
Oklahoma City, they lost Chet Holmgren.
yeah, he's out
yeah.
8 weeks.
In the first. Yeah, he broke his fractured his hip.
Mm-hmm.
On a, he was going up to meet Wiggins up at the rim, and they just kind of there was no dirty play, it just fell awkward, but it just seemed like once he got touched, he was like upside down so quick. I never seen a guy like get so horizontal so fast. I mean, it was freaky.
Yeah, I mean those Linky guys, man. I'm worried when they fall down. Him and Wemby, they make me a little nervous there. Not a lot of meat on the bones.
Mm-hmm.
Chet Holmgren actually said something really funny after the game. He had tweeted out. I don't think I'm gonna find it fast enough, but he tweeted out. Oh, here it is. He goes, "I can't believe this motherfucker still made the layup. What the fuck? I'm pissed." I'll take that, buddy. I'll take that.
Yeah. All right.
And what's coming up next?
Okay, so coming up next, we got Clay's return tomorrow, Tuesday, the 12th. This is a home game, and then at home hosting Memphis on Friday. Memphis is a lot better now this year as well. Like they've bounced back like we kind of expected them to.
There won't be any.
They're currently sitting
on
5th.
Tuesday,
Yeah, they're 7-4. Warriors are 8-2. Dallas is they're 5-5 right now. They're still trying to feel it out a little bit. They're currently sitting in 11th. So
I know the standing says 3rd in the West, but we're actually tied for
first. Yeah. It's whatever tiebreaker they're using is it has the Warriors sitting in the number 3 seed is what it is,
Yeah, I think it's because we lost to the Clippers, and I think the other two beat the Clippers. So
yeah,
that would be your tiebreaker there. But I'm happy to see Clay come back, man. I made some bets on underdog today. I think they got him at 15.5 points. And so I went the higher on that one. I was like, he's gonna hit for 20. I promise you that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that kind of brings us to just one last note on basketball. Greg Popovich, we should have mentioned it last week, but it kind of got lost in the sauce. He's out indefinitely with an unspecified health issue. And Mitch Johnson is acting as head coach while Popovich is away. So get better, Pop.
Yeah, man. I honestly he was going to retire, and then what's his name from Portland? They had like a gentleman's agreement that if you went, Marcus Aldridge, that if he went to San Antonio, he'd have to stay coaching. And that experiment didn't work out too well for the both of them. But
then he got the number 1 pick.
He did.
He goes, got that Wimbama kid, so I'm gonna stick around.
Yeah.
And is this a Steve Kerr situation where all the wins for Mitch Johnson go to Pop's record?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Pop's like, all right, let me get healthy, guys.
Yeah, definitely. What was it? Luke Walton, right? All of his
Luke Walton
to Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
They were like what, 20-2 or 18-2?
They were 24-0.
Yeah.
They started off the season without losing a game for the first 2 months of the year. I remember because in my office I had I was doing a little marking the W. I was gonna use a red pen to mark the L's, and then 23, 24 games later, I'm like, well, I was gonna use the red pen, but I haven't had to yet. I could change my mind at any point. I can make this fucker orange if I need to, or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh,
so
don't like that. So Tua throws a pick right now. Okay.
Okay.
As I don't know who caught the interception for the Rams. As he's running down, Tua decides, I'm just gonna tuck my head down and tackle you right now. Don't like that, Tua.
Is his head crushed into his pads?
He got up, but man, there's only so many bullets you could dodge here, Tua.
He got up 6 inches shorter than what
he's his brain is doing the accordion thing again. Good grief. I mean, Like I think about when he got knocked out earlier this year, it was DeMar Hamlin, and I just remember the memes. Like Tua just basically said, "It's gonna be you or me, homeboy," and then like led with his head into his chest, and I'm like, "Oh
my
dear God!" And we can laugh about it now because he's back playing, but like at the time, I'm like, "Oh fuck, that's really brutal." That is the internet is mean, guys. Did you know that? Like they are ruthless out here on the internet.
Yeah.
I
Breaking
just love
news.
the irony of it. Of course, it would be DeMar Hamlin. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
anyone else.
Yeah. Just like, yeah.
So, anyways,
Anywho. All right. So there is your basketball notes. Let's move on to hockey. Let's recap the Sharks week that was. Tyler and Sam had them winning versus the Blue Jackets, and that did happen 2-1 in overtime. So just barely got it there.
I'm streaking here, baby.
That's right. In that game, Alex Wenberg weaved through the defense and scored that OT winner. And Vitek Vanacek faced 50 shots and saved all but one of them. And then rookie Jack Thompson got his first career goal. He's a defenseman. Then they follow it up on Thursday, a game that your boy Vinny G was at. They take the L 5-2 versus Minnesota. That was Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Minnesota had 2 goals overturned on review for offsides in that game, so that it could have been a whole lot worse than 5-2. Macklin Celebrini got 2 goals in that game though, and that's the first brace, to use a soccer term, in his career.
He joins Will Smith as the only current on this roster Sharks players that have 2 goals in one game.
That's right. And then also he joins a list of Patrick Marleau and Jeff Friesen as teenagers in Sharks history to have 2-goal games. Let's just play a quick little game. One of those 2 players did it multiple times. Was it Jeff Friesen or Patrick Marleau?
Jeff Friesen.
No, it was Marleau. Patty.
It was Friesen.
Ooh.
Points to Sam. So Marleau turned 20, I think, before he could do it.
Yeah.
Before he did it twice. Jeff Friesen got the job done twice. So Macklin Celebrini is going to have a chance. I heard
part of that on the broadcast when they were reading some stats.
Yeah.
So
fun facts, Okay, so then we move on to Sunday. They play in New Jersey. They get the 1-0 win. Mackenzie Blackwood 44 save shutout. I mean, good God, And then Nico Sturm got that one goal, got the lone goal.
That game for Blackwood has caught eyes of the Colorado Avalanche. They are considering some trade options for him.
Kicking the tires a little, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad about that. That's the only reason why he and frankly Vitek Vanacek are here. Like that's the reason those guys are here, is to bring trade value at this point. And then once one of those guys gets moved, that's when Askarov gets the call. So yep. I mean, they're already selling Askarov jerseys at the Shark Tank. Like he's not on the team right now. He's at the Barracuda, but they are selling Sharks Askarov jerseys. So
how much longer do you think they're going to be waiting to bring him up? Do you think they're just waiting to trade these guys?
They're waiting for a trade or an injury. Trade or injury. That's it. That's all they're waiting for at this point.
To your point here, Sam. Sorry, Vince. I was looking yesterday, and I almost bought one. Askarov's jerseys are $175, white and black, and they are available in all sizes if you'd like to buy one.
Nice. Think about it. I have to think about it a little bit.
He's got to be good first. He ain't the number 1 pick.
No, he's not. But man, he might be one of the top goalies in the league here.
Yeah, he just has to get to the league first. Yeah, he's ready. But there's just not a spot for him yet. That's the that's one of these things where it's what your contract. He has a contract that allows him to be at the AHL level. The other 2 don't. So that's really what it comes down to. So as soon as one of them is out of the way, be via trade or injury, that's when Askarov's getting his call up. And
the Sharks,
what a lovely day.
The Sharks started 9-2, 9 losses and 2 ties. They are now 5-9-2. It doesn't look so bad now. I mean, like 9-2, you were terrified.
9-2, yeah.
9-2, it was like, oh man, this is getting bad. But they're starting to, they're playing well.
Yeah, they got 3 wins in a row.
Yeah.
And they've really they were 0-8-2, excuse me. And so they've only lost 1 of their last 4 since then.
Oh, yeah.
They actually climbed out of the cellar again. They're the Predators are 1 point behind them, and they're actually tied with the Ducks, but the Ducks have played 2 less games. So that's why the Ducks are technically in 14th and the Sharks are in 15th right now in the Western Conference. The Blackhawks and Kraken, they're only 1 point ahead of the Sharks right now. So, that they're not the doormats.
Right.
They're not doormats this year, which is great. I love the feeling that they're not just laying down for people. They're not an easy W.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, it's exciting.
Yeah. If the Sharks can pull this comeback here in Philly, then I will also be right, and then that would make us all level at 2 games correct for win of the week. So that brings us to the question coming up. On Thursday, they're playing at the New York Rangers, and then they're playing Saturday at Pittsburgh. Is anybody going to be dumb enough to try to pick the Rangers game?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to Pittsburgh, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're going to win either one of these.
No, but we're just trying to put points on the board, Yeah. So obviously Pittsburgh, they're sitting 8, 9, 10, 11. They're sitting 12th in the East. They're at 14 points. The Sharks are at 12, just for reference. So yeah, they're not doing that much better, really. They got 1 more win. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
They're 6-8-2. The Sharks are 5-9-2. So you could, in theory, tie them if you get a win. So obviously it's the Penguins is I think where we're all gonna go here. So
no. I'm gonna go. Wait, the Rangers?
Yeah, at the Rangers. The Rangers are current
9-3.
Yeah, 9 wins, 3 losses. The
Are
only
we in New York?
Yeah, in New York and then in Pittsburgh. So both of these games are on the road. Don't do it. Come on. Just take the week off, from win of the week.
No, I got house money. I'm gonna go Rangers.
All right, fine. Your mistake, bud.
They're winning both.
In there. All right, Sam, you're with me on the
I'll take Pittsburgh.
On the Pittsburgh. All right. There we go. All right, so there's your win of the week segment. And now let's switch gears to soccer. Let's talk Wrexham. They get the W. Tyler, how was it?
They were on a losing streak. It wasn't great. By losing streak, I mean they lost the cup tournament game. So really wasn't that much of a losing streak.
The FA Cup, yeah.
Yeah. But Ryan Barnett scores his first goal of the season against Mansfield, which is great. It's all we needed to get the W done onto that. There was a little bit of drama on the pitch there, a little bit of poppy stance, so a little political stances going on. So James McLean had some talks about the poppy stance, and to just put it in terms, there's a high Republican or right wing stance that goes on in England, and James McLean is not a part of it, and neither is Paul Mullen. So
yeah, they sort of the right wing has sort of co-opted the poppy thing. Like normally everybody wears a poppy on Armistice Day, which we call Veterans Day here in America.
Mm-hmm.
And so the game that's closest to that day, they people will traditionally wear a poppy. You'll see it in the hockey games, like for the Canadian broadcasters, a lot of them will wear the poppy too.
It's Armistice Day for UK soldiers. So
yeah.
Why James McLean didn't want to wear it is because he's Irish, and there's this long-standing issue that England treated Irish people like shit. And so
they were colonized a little bit there. So
he didn't want to wear it. He's like, I don't care if I play for an English football team. I am not English, so he didn't want to wear it.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a big issue over there that a lot of people throw.
Yeah, they're really they're really having some big feelings. Let's just say. Yeah. There's some big feelings. I get that. We're having big feelings over here. Okay. So yeah. All right.
Currently they are 8-4-2, 23 points in third place, which is enough to get promoted. So We obviously want more wins. Still a long season to go. We will always keep you updated week by week on this one. Our next match is on Tuesday, which is tomorrow or today if you're listening on Tuesday, against Port Val, which is for the Football League trophy. And then we get back into the EFL race here on Saturday against Stockport. So plenty to go. We'll keep you updated as we go along.
All right, now let's talk AFC. They were in the playoffs. That was the game I had on my big screen. If you follow me on Instagram, I had the Niners game on the iPad, and then I had the BAFC, the playoff game on the big screen. Get you a man that can do both, right? So so here's what happened. Here's how it went down. This was Sunday morning. They were playing in Washington. The Spirit are the number 2 seed. BAFC is the number 7 seed. It's scoreless until Oshawala, 82nd minute, puts the ball in, low cross from Hawking from about 3 yards away from the net. BAFC goes up 1-0. 4 minutes later, Washington countered with a low left shot in the 86th minute, just outside of the 18-yard box, and that beats a diving Caitlin Rowland to knot it up 1 apiece. And the player that shot it is the center back who used to be a forward, so she McEwen is her name. She really relishes those opportunities when she does get to pretend to be a scorer again, and just kind of fell victim to that a little bit. And so we head into extra time. In extra time, it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes a half or whatever. But in the 96th minute, Trinity Rodman plays a cross into the box, and then it just kind of deflected poorly off of Caprice Didasco's head when she was trying to defend it. Own goal, and there's your score. BAFC loses 2-1 in extra time. They're the only team that forced extra time of the lower seeds. All the higher seeds ended up winning all of their matches. So, unfortunately, this is the end of BAFC season. It's a hell of a first season and an inaugural season. I went to 3 of those games myself. I'm wearing the BAFC hat to go with my Debo shirt. And I really had a great time. And I highly encourage everybody to come to a game with me next year. Let's if you're watching this or whatever, let's make it happen. We got a lot of exciting opportunities coming forward, and I think this team played a lot better in the second half of the year once they kind of figured out their identity and how they wanted to play. The first half of the year was a little rough. The second half of the year, that they got into the playoffs based on a lot of really strong defense, especially once Abby Dahlkemper came to the team. Speaking of which, Abby Dahlkemper, for the 3rd month in a row, was named to the best 11. So she was on the team for 3 straight months, and she made the best 11 as a center defender.
Do you think she's coming back next season?
Oh, yeah, she's under contract. She signed a 2-year deal when she got traded, so she's here for the next 2 seasons as well. So I'm really excited. And this is her home. She grew up in the South Bay.
Oh, nice.
So this was a homecoming opportunity for her. And then also it's kind of a college reunion. I had mentioned before, like Caitlin Rowland, Caprice Didasco, they all and Abby Dahlkemper, they all played on a national championship team at UCLA together. So it was an opportunity to reunite with a couple of friends and also come back home. And she's made the world of difference. And I fully expect she'll be the one wearing the captain's armband next year. So, you have a player that's still playing at a very high level and just, savvy defender, a lot of things to look forward to next season. So just to recap the rest of the playoff games, top seed Orlando beat Chicago Red Stars 4-1. Barbara Banda scored 2 minutes in, and the pressure just never really let up from there. The Kansas City Current got a 1-0 win over North Carolina Courage. The show doc messed up on that one. Temwa Chawinga, who was the Golden Boot winner, got the lone goal in the 8th minute. She just kind of cleaned up the mess in about 5 yards out from the box. So Orlando Pride and KC Current are going to play each other, and then Gotham FC on Sunday, they defeated Portland Thorns 2-1, with the game winner coming off of Rose Lavelle 90 plus 7 minutes into stoppage time. the second latest playoff game-winning goal in NWSL history that it does not include extra time.
That might be my team too by name alone. I just love that name.
It's a cool name. They rebranded a couple of years ago to that. So it's, they're the Bats, as affectionately known by fans. So Washington Spirit will be hosting Gotham FC in the semis, in the other semi, and so that's kind of what we're looking for as the playoffs go on. I'll keep tabs on that as we go. One last note that came across for soccer, and that is a while back for Team USA, we were talking about this teenager, Lily Johannes. She didn't get called into camp this most recent time because she was trying to decide whether she would go with Team USA or she would go with Denmark, where she plays internationally for Ajax. So she has made a decision, and she has chosen USA. She's coming home, baby. So she's gonna be representing Team USA for any future, national team camps, and she's gonna be a name to remember going forward. She actually did release a statement. She said, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the United States and Dutch football federations for their unwavering support and patient guidance as I made my decision regarding my international future. Their dedication and encouragement have been invaluable, and I extend my heartfelt thanks to both federations. After much consideration, I have decided to commit to represent my country, the United States. The U.S. is my homeland, my birthplace, and where my extended family resides. These strong connections have driven me to honor my roots and proudly commit to U.S. soccer. I am excited and eager to continue putting in the work and earn my place on the U.S. women's national team. So, a lovely statement that her and her team released there. And I'm just really excited that the future looks bright, especially for a team that, a year and a half ago, they had their worst showing ever at a World Cup. They bounced back. They get Emma Hayes. They in the Olympics, they win the gold, and now they're getting Lily Johannes too. So, and a lot of these players are young too on the national team. So, just really excited for the upcoming future for the U.S. women's national team. Yeah, and that's it for soccer. There's one last special note that I had for other sports. Whoopi Goldberg is going to launch a new sports channel that will be dedicated to women's sports worldwide. It'll be called AWSN, All Women's Sports Network. So,
Whoopee!
Yeah, that's fun. Whoopee! So that if it's a lot of women's soccer places where they don't necessarily show it all the time, like in England and in Spain and stuff like that. So I assume they're going to get a lot of that. They'll get some international basketball as well. And I'm sure they'll make a play for the U.S. Teams once those contracts are up as well. So good luck to Whoopi Goldberg. And I'm just really liking the especially for my nieces, the opportunity to see women playing sports professionally, like live on television, to see that as a possible avenue, for them. It's just more representation, and I'm all for that. There's, yeah, so that's basically it. That's all I got. Does anybody have anything else besides, of course, the obligatory fuck John Fisher?
As always.
Yeah, as always. Dallas Braden actually released earlier today, I think, or maybe yesterday. There was the he released like a 40-minute thing on YouTube, basically documenting his last day at the Coliseum, and just all that stuff. So I kind of checked that out during my lunch and got a little teary-eyed. So that was a nice thing to check out.
Is he going to stay on at NBC to go to Sacramento and all that?
Nobody knows. He hasn't made the decision yet.
Yeah. We'll see. In the little doc that he put out there, he definitely at one point he hugged Vince Cotroneo because Vince is leaving.
Yeah.
And they had a really nice expletive filled bro moment where they were hugging, son of a bitch, you made me wear my sunglasses for crying or whatever, some stuff like that. So really nice moments. And you see a lot of familiar faces. If you get to a lot of A's games, you see like security people, and Clay Wood is featured heavily at the end there. You see all the people that work behind the scenes as well, security people, and him giving hugs, and everybody's crying, but like trying to put on a brave face, and he's doing the same thing. He's crying but putting on a brave face. So
Yeah,
it was a very powerful and painful reminder of what we've lost.
for sure.
So that's what I got there. I will make a note right now. The Sharks are on the power play, and they almost just scored to tie it up. There's 8.5 minutes left in the third period. I really hope they pull this win off. They can complete the comeback, because then I'm not a game back of this of our.
Do you get a point for a tie?
There's no ties. No. We'll just do wins and losses straight up.
Don't put any ideas in this guy's head.
Yeah, I don't want
to. He changed his rules on the fly. We know that.
Yeah, didn't he give himself a half point last year?
Half points for overtime losses. I did do that last year. But no, we're gonna keep it straight up. We're locking it in right now. We're not doing that. It's just wins or losses. Okay.
That's funny.
Because I expect this team to compete. That's all.
Yeah, I got nothing else. You want to send us off here, Sam?
All right, everybody. You're listening to the SVT Sports Pod.
Is this like the Love Connection Hour? Do I have to
subscribe?
Nah,
just kidding. All right, everybody. You're listening to the SVT Sports Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you get those alerts when we go live. Follow us on Instagram and Threads at SVT Sports Pod. Slide into our DMs. We would love to interact with you.
That's right. Fuck John Fisher and have a good night.